Hey everyone, welcome to the Wrestling Experience.
The must-see podcast where we talk about the must-see WWE champion, The Miz.
I mean, I think that he says the most must-see, but we're not there yet.
Well, we're not the most must-see yet. Maybe he's the most must-see champion, but hey, you know.
Well, I am your most must-see host, Jess.
I am your must-see but not most must-see co-host, Johnny.
You'll get there. And
I'm the co-host and you're just the host.
Exactly. We are here to recap a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. It's been a while since we said that, so it feels good. I guess we have smiles on our face. We're happy. Let's jump in, and we open up the show with The Miz looking like $1,000,000. He's got pyro now. He looks great. He's got these reflective sunglasses so you can kind of see the pyro that's kind of like, kind of happening like, on his like glasses. I thought that was a really, really nice scene there. And
he really is must see.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, he talks about, being the first 2-time Grand Slam champion in the history of this company, which is pretty impressive, to be quite honest with you. And I believe that it had been like 14, 15 years or something like that since he had won the title last.
Well, was it really that long? Was WrestleMania 27 that long ago? Aren't we at like WrestleMania 37?
Yeah, so why would he? I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure he said like 10 plus or something like that. But anyways, who's counting?
He was talking about his whole career and how he outlasted Edge and Batista, right. Lashley. Who else did he name? He named quite a few superstars. I don't know if he said John Cena.
But here's the thing, though. I like the fact that you mentioned Lashley, because I was like, why would he put Lashley's name in front of guys like Batista and like Edge and all those people? And,
well, for the perfect segue here.
Exactly. And there's a reason, because he's interrupted by Lashley. He's interrupted by Lashley, who's wearing a very sharp white suit, looking like $1,000,000 again. And
that was like the salmon jacket equivalent right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And basically, they congratulate him on behalf of the Hurt Business. Congratulations on your WWE Championship. And, what an impressive list of accomplishments. But we can't help but, wonder, why you mentioned Bobby Lashley's name on that list, right? Considering the fact that there was some sort of arrangement that we had. Right? Bobby Lashley would beat the crap out of Drew McIntyre, and then you would come in and you would cash in. And he also mentioned the fact that, John Morrison is the one that kind of cost Bobby Lashley his United States Championship. But yes, all of that aside, there's an agreement, and Bobby Lashley gives The Miz an hour to decide what it's going to be. Is he going to basically give him a title shot, or is Bobby Lashley going to have to beat the crap out of him to get that title shot?
Yeah, Lashley looked amazing in this promo. Like, he basically gave him an hour to come up with an answer as to whether or not he would get a title shot. And if he didn't, well, Lashley was going to make him the star of a new TV show called How Lashley Sent Me to the Emergency Room. And he also kind of makes fun of Miz with the whole, it's going to be awesome shtick. So, main event Bobby Lashley is my new favorite thing. And this was a strong opening to Raw. Although I was really kind of hoping for a Drew McIntyre appearance to just like go savagely destroy The Miz. But, this is just as good.
Probably not going to happen for a little while. But let's go to a quick backstage segment between the Lucha House Party and Matt Riddle. Sorry, just Riddle. And Riddle, basically calls them brochachos, and he talks about Call of Duty Warzone and his accomplishments, and he talks about his friend Travis, who's a metalhead. And anyways, all that to say is that, basically, Lindsay Dorado was like, well, shouldn't you be, focusing on your matchup next against John Morrison? And he pulls up his scooter, his stallion, and he basically rides off, and I thought that was pretty funny. But man, how great!
Scoots.
Yeah, like how
scoots off.
Like how great was this match between Riddle and John Morrison?
It was amazing, actually. I was so happy. It was just like what we saw yesterday, minus Bobby Lashley, but it was great. Also, Riddle names the bird on the U.S. title Travis as well, he said, which was kind of interesting as well. But yeah, this was a high-octane offense between both of them. Riddle is attacking Morrison early. Morrison starts to fight back and do his own submission wrestling and mat-based stuff, which is almost on par with Riddle. He does a beautiful corkscrew on the outside. There was a Fisher suplex on the apron, which looked pretty devastating. Later on in the match, it's just back and forth, amazing stuff. Exploders, Spanish Fly, Bro to Sleep. Morrison hits a beautiful knee strike, and when he's going for the Starship Pain, Riddle's able to stop that and hit the Bro Derek for the win. But it was just this is totally worth watching.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I thought it was an excellent match, and somebody's listening. Someone give John Morrison a shot, because this guy could definitely be a solid mid card champion, and I'm really happy that he's getting to show that. But
yeah, Miz did promise Morrison the title opportunity when he wins Money in the Bank, and like although I want to see Lashley as the champion, like Morrison also should get a run with that.
Yeah, for sure. And now we get a video promo basically telling us that Rhea Ripley is going to be showing up on Raw soon. This is not the first video promo. We're going to see, I believe, a second one as well. But let's go backstage with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. They're speaking in Portuguese, I believe. And
Spanish?
They notice, I guess, and then they notice R-Truth talking to a ref, and they kind of know what R-Truth is all about. The ref scoots over, he kind of leaves, and Truth said that he simply wanted Bugs Bunny's autograph.
It was so good. Anyway, yeah. Priest doesn't believe him and then scares him off, and R-Truth runs away. But yeah, R-Truth, Bugs Bunny's autograph. Great stuff.
Exactly.
Miz is also backstage with Adam Pearce, and he's obviously upset about what's going on. What an outrage. And then Pearce is asking, but did you make this deal or not? And Miz says, well, he didn't really, it wasn't anything concrete. It was just verbal. There was no contract. Nothing was signed. But Pearce basically says, well, you gotta take all challengers as the champion, and he'll respect whatever decision he makes, but the clock is ticking. And boy, do they remind us, one of the negatives of Raw this entire night is all the reminders, because I think we got reminded like every 5-10 minutes that this is the timer for Lashley's ultimatum. The clock's running out.
Exactly.
It was horrible.
Yeah, so we're going to go
Speaking of horrible.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say we're going to continue this little lull that we're on, but with the New Day versus Retribution. Not much really to talk about, honestly. It was a very short match. We got some great tandem offense between Kofi and Xavier. But at the end of the day, the New Day were the ones to pick up the victory, because I believe there's a distraction, right? Kofi uses the distraction to hit a Trouble in Paradise. It
was Ali's own distraction, because T-Bar and Mace had them down with like a sweet like double choke slam, and Ali wanted to see it again, and then it all led to Double Trouble in Paradise and Kofi winning. And Ali is not happy. He's angry. He gets on the mic. He's like, how many times are you going to fail and embarrass me? He keeps going, and he just looks very frustrated. And then they're just kind of like sitting there taking the abuse. I just made up a word. You're welcome.
Beautiful. Well, listen, we're still reminded that after the break, we're going to get, I guess, Miz's answer, and that's what happens, right? So we return to the Thunderdome. Adam Pearce is in the ring. Bobby Lashley's out. And basically the Miz comes out, and the Miz says that he has made a decision. And his decision is that he needs more time. And essentially, Bobby Lashley...
That's a decision.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Lashley isn't happy. And the Miz kind of says... he kind of starts like, sprinkling, obviously like BS, saying that like, listen, like this championship deserves me at the best, and the people deserve me at the best, and like I still need some more time, blah blah blah. And
it's funny because he's like not even like, he has no reason to be tired and not at his best, because he really didn't do anything last night other than pick up the scraps. Lashley was in a triple threat match, and he had to beat up Drew McIntyre after, like so it's interesting, but yeah, and he wants to give the title what it deserves. He mentions all his other challengers. MVP emphasizes how they had a deal, and Lashley at this point is just ready to kill. And then they kind of like settle on, how about a week from now? And that's when Braun Strowman interrupts.
Yeah, and he's marching. He's pissed off. He's like, listen, if anybody is getting a title shot, it's me. And he's like, I don't know what you and Shane are doing, but you guys didn't put me in the Elimination Chamber match. And then Shane McMahon comes out, and Shane does his jig, he does his little stupid dance, and then essentially he's like, Braun Strowman, maybe with some of the neurons left in your brain, maybe you didn't realize that this was for X champions only. And then Braun Strowman's like, well, I think that's a stupid idea. I think you're stupid.
I can't believe he went there.
Yeah, he's like, I think you're stupid. I think the Miz is stupid. I think Lashley is stupid. Lashley's being held back by MVP at this point. And then Shane McMahon and then basically he's like, Shane, he's like, oh, I should be the one that faces the Miz. And Shane McMahon retorts by saying, I think that's a stupid idea. And I
believe they weren't saying stupid. They were saying your idea sucks.
But... Yeah, exactly. Sorry, your idea sucks. I'm sorry. And essentially, he mentions, he's like, you know what, like, then, I want to challenge, I want to fight, so how about I fight Bobby Lashley tonight. And then Shane McMahon's like, that's a great idea, actually. Who wouldn't want to see that? So how about, let's spice it up. We'll have Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley this week. And if Braun Strowman is able to win his match against Bobby Lashley tonight, he's going to be inserted into the title match next week. And honestly, though, Miz's face was just the best. Like, the facial expressions were just chef's kiss. You know what I mean? Like, they were so good.
I also enjoyed Miz trying to stir the pot, and then getting immediately shut down, because when Braun Strowman said Lashley was stupid or Lashley sucks, Miz was like, "Are you going to take that, Lashley?" And then MVP's like, "Stop trying to stir the pot," and immediately shuts him down. But yeah, his reaction to that possibly happening was amazing, and Braun Strowman says that that's actually a smart decision. And while he's got his back turned, Lashley goes with a cheap shot, going right after the leg, but doesn't continue really the beatdown. It was just a quick cheap shot as he leaves the ring, and we come back from commercial, and the Hurt Business are still out. Lashley's gone, but it's MVP on commentary with your boys, the tag champs, and they're up against the Lucha House Party, the Lucha Bros, whatever they're called. I don't even remember anymore. But it's a tornado tag team match, which is... I love that. I love this stuff, and we never see it.
Yeah, I was going to call them the Lucha Experience, but...
The Lucha Experience, the Lucha Raiders... Great tornado tag team match. It's all about how Shelton and Cedric seem to have put their differences aside and are working really well together. They're constantly tossing Lindsay out of the ring and working on Metalik, and they just can't seem to put them down. There was even a spot where Sheldon does an amazing powerbomb, and Lindsay has to try to protect Metalik so he doesn't take any more hits, but they managed to turn things around. They almost get a double pin on Shelton, where they take him out with a double team move and they double pin him, but Cedric saves him. And then at that point, Hurt Business picks up the steam again, picks up the pace, and then they use a quick double team move with a clothesline knee strike into the pay dirt, and they pick up the win there. So it really felt like a squash match early on until the Lucha Bros came back. But mostly to just say the Hurt Business is at peak performance right now.
Yeah, for sure. They're running on all cylinder, and obviously the Hurt Business are probably one of the best parts about Monday Night Raw. So let's move on to Damian Priest with Bat Bunny versus Angel Garza, and I'm surprised the amount of time that they got in this match, though. I thought that this would have been a quick match, but this is a really, really entertaining match, and even Garza got some offense in it, and I thought that Garza looked really, really good even in a loss.
When the pants came off, he's means business. The problem was he was constantly when he would get an advantage, and he got an advantage quite a bit against Priest. He was really all over him at the beginning of the match. He would constantly trash talk Bad Bunny, and that would be his demise. Yeah, because when Bad Bunny was trying to enter the ring at one point and taunting with him, that just gave Priest all he needed to come back from and recover from the beating and pick up the win there. So we saw everything, though. And Garza also kicked out of. What's the broken arrow, which I didn't expect to see that happen so soon, but maybe they wanted to introduce Priest's other move called hit the lights or lights out.
Yeah, something like that.
Lights out or something.
Yeah.
Hit the lights for the win, and then Tom Phillips said lights out for Garza. That's going to be a catchphrase.
Exactly. So after the match, though, the whole catering crew comes out and they start attacking. Obviously, for the 24/7 title, but. Priest basically just easily manhandles all of them, and they celebrate. So, Rhea
Ripley.
Yeah, exactly. Second time, exactly. Not worth mentioning. So now we do have a backstage promo with Randy Orton. Man, even Randy Orton can't explain. He can't escape that black fluid, huh? Or whatever.
The fiend juice.
The fiend juice, whatever.
He started vomiting the fiend juice.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was weird.
It was a good promo, though. He was talking about how he should have won the gauntlet match. He should have went in last and won the title, but instead he was the first one eliminated, and he's distracted, and he doesn't like his failure, and he's trying to figure out what is distracting him, because whenever things distract him, he takes care of him, like the Fiend, who isn't coming back. He keeps reminding us. So then he realizes that it's Alexa, the distraction. And then we cut to Alexa summoning the devil or something, sitting in the middle of what was it, the pentagram? And cut back to Orton, where he starts coughing up fiend juice. He did cough slightly during his promo, which was probably building up to him coughing up the fiend juice. But yeah, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So now we do have our next match. We have Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Again, they got a decent amount of time. I thought that this was a pretty great match, where unfortunately Asuka looks weak yet again. Asuka did get some offense and everything. You know, she did catch the leg and slip around, and she did like an octopus stretch or something like that. I don't know what else to call it, but yeah, I mean, besides that, like, you know, Asuka looked pretty weak, and you know,
it was less bad this week though, because in the beginning of the match, Asuka was going toe to toe with Shayna and got the upper hand, and then tagged in Charlotte. And then we were back to that, and they did get like their good offense. Then of course Asuka is in peril and needs to get the hot tag later on in the match, and then Charlotte also has to do the same thing and get the hot tag later on in the match. The problem here is that the reason why Charlotte gets the hot tag is so that Asuka can lose, because what ends up happening is Asuka is beating up Nia. She gets an armbar, and Shayna kicks her quite good, because I'm pretty sure she knocked a few teeth out. You could tell immediately that as soon as Shayna kicked her, she had to go check on her. And then after that was over, Shayna and Charlotte fought on the outside so that Nia can pick up the win with the leg drop. And Asuka covered her mouth the whole time, and it looked like Charlotte was frustrated and like left her partner alone. And yeah, poor Asuka.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that, you know, Charlotte did hit Asuka with a running knee, and that's how
it's true. The misdirection.
Yeah, that's how Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax ended up winning. After the match, Asuka's holding her face, and Charlotte is going in to check on her, but Asuka just kind of pushes her away, and that's it. So are they kind of slowly planting the seeds that Super Charlotte is going to be facing Asuka? I think yes.
God, I hope Asuka wins. I don't want to see.
Happen. That's not going to happen.
I know.
It's not going to happen. But hey, we do have Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus in yet another great singles match. Like, Raw was definitely churning out some good matches today.
Yeah, I agree. This one was like one of my least favorites of the ones we've seen so far, but it was still quite good. Like, I mean, we are going to get a pretty mediocre match after this anyway, but let's talk about this one. Sheamus is obviously starting very strong, but Hardy matches the aggression, and they fight on the outside. Sheamus is in control for most of the match after the commercial, but Jeff Hardy starts to fight back with his signature moves. Sheamus has to do a roll-up. There was a point where Jeff went for a swanton, but he just kind of did a splash, which I thought was a bit bizarre. But I guess he then immediately went for the twist of fate and then tries to swanton after, which was, I guess, setting up for that. Of course, the swanton doesn't hit, and Sheamus is able to recover and eventually hit a brogue kick to win. Mm-hmm. But yeah, solid match. A little bit shorter than what we got with Riddle and Morrison and the tag team match we just saw.
Yeah. So now we're backstage with the Flairs, because it's a telenovela with them all the time. But essentially,
this is what happens when you dismiss the Rey Mysterio telenovela, because now we get this one.
Yeah. So essentially, Charlotte, she confronts Ric Flair. She tells him that she can't focus because of like the whole Ric Flair and Lacey thing, and you know. And basically Ric Flair just says that, like, listen, he's just doing this to push her. He wants to protect the Flair legacy. He saw potential in Lacey Evans, and he just kind of wanted to bring the best out of her. And Charlotte's like, yeah, like, you know, you always see potential in blondes, which I thought was a pretty funny line. But you know, she basically talks about how, you know, just for once, she doesn't want her dad to come in her way, and she wants to kind of break out of the Ric Flair mold. Like, yeah, like she's very grateful for everything that Ric Flair did for her and all the doors that basically he opened for her, but now she wants to do the things her way, which is really funny because Charlotte is the one that has Ric Flair's theme song, which is just only remixed, and she's also strutting and doing the figure four like Ric Flair, and then all of a sudden she's asking him to kind of like, you know, separate from like the Flair name and do it the Charlotte Flair way. It's listen, like, I mean, I get what they were trying to do. It is well acted and everything like that, but don't give me that and then continue strutting and like using his music. Like, it's, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
That's the thing. I almost forgot about that because I felt like this promo was well delivered on both sides. Like you said, well acted, well put together. Made a lot of sense. But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, Charlotte does the same thing that Ric Flair does. She struts, she woos. Her figure four is a figure eight, so she's like twice as good, I guess. I don't know. But you have a point. She comes out in a robe. Her theme song is pretty much Ric Flair's theme song with like a slightly like a remix. So maybe she should like separate herself from Ric Flair. But yeah, Ric Flair just wants to, you know, expand the household name. You know, he wants to. Sure. That's all he wants. Yeah. That's all he wants.
So now we do have AJ Styles with Omos versus Ricochet. Just
wait. Wait. I thought there was something before. I wrote this down. Wasn't there a tag team match with Naomi, Lana, and the Sexy Muscle Friends?
Oh yeah.
Did you miss that? I mean, it was like less than like a minute. I don't even remember what happened.
Yes,
they were beating up Lana.
I can't believe.
And then like Lana made the tag, and then I don't even know what happened. Lana took out Brooke, and then they used a double team on Mandy and won. Like this was like less than a minute. Like Naomi comes in and she's too good. If we were complaining about Charlotte being booked strong in her tag team, Naomi's far worse.
Basically, if you blink, you miss this match. So that's exactly what happened.
Just
I'm sorry. I guess I blinked and I completely forgot about that part. But
the best part of the match was after when they were celebrating and Naomi's music was playing. It cuts to Lashley preparing, so you can see him like jabbing and preparing to Naomi's dubstep music. So that was the best part.
That was pretty funny.
But now you can talk about AJ and Ricochet.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much of a match though, right? Like, I mean, like it was so short and. I don't know. Like, I mean, commentary was more interested in talking about Omos and how strong he is and how physical he is and what he did at the Elimination Chamber by removing that piece of plastic off the pod. Like, it's just, like, and just for that, like, I just kind of had, like, no interest. Like, you know, Ricochet does go up for the top for the 630. You know, I believe, so this is where Styles moved and, he caught him with, like, a knee and then basically that knocked him out and he went for a Styles Clash. Like, that's pretty much it.
That knee strike was either incredibly well sold or an actual legitimate knee strike because Ricochet just
well sold. Yeah, it was definitely
went
sold.
down. And AJ tried to do the thing the fancy Styles Clash thing he did last time, where he tried to like put Ricochet on the rope and then catch him, but that didn't work out as well as it had the last time. Yeah. And for good measure, Omos comes in to celebrate, and AJ's like, "Why don't you give him a slam?" And he takes out Ricochet even more, and they celebrate in their victory, and they bask in their victory. And we go backstage to Miz and Morrison, who are complaining because this is not what Miz wanted. They should not have come down to this. Morrison's like, maybe we should probably just root for Bobby Lashley here, so it's a singles match. And then at this point, Braun shows up and just stares them down, and they kind of just run off.
And dude,
and we're told,
I mean, the main event though, like this main event was insane.
Yeah, we're told that the main event is now, and it's here, and it's Lashley versus Strowman with Miz down to watch. And wow, was this was good. Lashley like picks him up, tosses him around. Strowman does the same. They fight back and forth. Lashley ends up on the outside, and Strowman tries to charge, but Lashley gets out of the way, and Strowman crashes into the steps. And that's when Lashley continues to attack the leg that he attacked earlier in the previous segment, and obviously Strowman re-injured by smashing into the stairs with. He can't get the hurt lock, though. He's not able to lock it in, and he tries to go for that standing suplex, which he almost gets Lashley up, but not quite. And Strowman ends up countering with a power slam that Lashley kicks out, and everyone's freaking out at this because not many people have kicked out of that. Mm-hmm. Like, they've never seen anyone kick out of that, but I'm pretty sure I remember Brock Lesnar doing it and Roman Reigns doing it. But regardless, Miz is shocked at this. Strowman tries for another slam, but this time Lashley's countering it, and he uses his big spine buster, hits a spear, and wins, which I did not expect. I really expected there to be a triple threat match, and I didn't like the idea because I really wanted Lashley to just have his moment. This is great. Lashley looks like $1 million, destroyed Strowman, and is getting his one-on-one match here. Yeah, and he wasn't done either post-match. He continued to beat down on Strowman, gets the hurt lock on him as well. And when Miz tries to ambush Lashley, it doesn't work out well for him, and Lashley basically takes him out and hits him with a spear.
Yeah, so that's it. That was the recap for Monday Night Raw. I guess before we sign out, like the question is that, yes, now that we do have Lashley versus The Miz, is Lashley winning right away? Or is Drew going to kind of come out and cause a distraction? But why would Drew do that? You know what I mean?
Well, why wouldn't he? Lashley cost him the title in his mind, right? Here's the thing. I don't know what to expect. It's either they're going to have Lashley just win it, or Drew's going to cost him the title. But then there's going to be Sheamus lurking behind because Sheamus is not done with Drew. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're probably not going to. If we get Sheamus versus Drew, I don't think the title is going to be involved. If we get Drew versus Lashley, then I think it's going to be for the title.
I think so too.
It's interesting. It would be a shame to just have Drew be in a grudge match with Sheamus and not be in the title.
Yeah,
match.
Exactly. I mean, I think that
what happens to Sheamus?
At the end of the day, I feel Lashley's gonna get the title. It could be next week. It could be a bit later. Not really sure, but it should definitely be exciting. But I think overall, Raw was definitely again overall it was a really good show. Yes, there were some moments. there were some moments that I thought that it was a little dull, but I thought that for the most part the matches were pretty solid, and there was enough character development for me to be enticed, even if it was 3 hours long. So yeah.
I mean, what could happen at Fastlane is if we have a potential fatal four-way like Miz, Lashley, Sheamus, and Drew. I don't know, but then there's a Strowman lurking, and there's also a Morrison who could potentially be involved. So it's getting interesting for sure.
It's basically wide open, the way that I see it, and it's great though. Like, I mean, we don't know what's going on, and that's kind of what makes it interesting. As I was telling you during our Elimination Chamber recap, like, I'm excited to watch Raw just because I didn't know, and that's exactly what happened, right? Like, there was no Drew McIntyre, and it was still very captivating, and it should be nice to see him next week if he shows up.
I hope he shows up. Like, it was weird not to see him show up at the end and just ruin everything. Yeah. It was weird to not see him get involved in anything at all. But I'm guessing he'll just be back next week. It makes no sense for him not to appear. Yeah. Otherwise, good episode of Raw. Really interesting stuff with the main event and the WWE title. The tag team match between Charlotte, Asuka, and Shania was quite good. John Morrison and Riddle was quite good. Jeff Hardy, Sheamus was quite good. We just saw maybe a mediocre match with like the sexy muscle friends and Lana and Naomi, but and like the constant reminders of everything, like constant recaps on this episode. Like, that was the only thing that was a negative.
Yeah, exactly. So, what do you guys think is going to be the main event for Fastlane for the Raw side? We'd be curious to know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and also make sure to subscribe and like our video. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bad Bunny versus Miz at WrestleMania. Book it.
Did you hear the rumors that The Undertaker is going to come back out of retirement to face Bad Bunny?
I did, actually. He wants one more match, a la Christian.
Against Bad Bunny at Saudi Arabia or something like that. And the funny thing is that could potentially happen.
I don't think Undertaker would do that. I don't think The Undertaker's ever coming back unless it's Saudi Arabia. Like, he pulls an HBK and it's like, oh well, this is worth it. Otherwise, I think he'll let the character die.
I hope so.